Hi everyone, it's Melody with designbymelody.com here today to share a layout I scrapbooked recently. And this is actually a recent photo. Typically I don't scrapbook very recent photos, and that's just because I'm really bad about going to print the current photos. So I end up with a lot of photos that are at least 6 months old, and a lot of times they're even older than that. I only started scrapbooking a little over a year ago, so I have many years to catch up on. So this photo is actually not even a photo. It was a Christmas card we received from my sister and her husband and their son. So I just love this picture of my nephew, so I wanted to scrapbook it. And then the Be Merry greeting on the front of this photo card is actually also going to be my title on the layout. I considered putting some alpha stickers on here and making a different title, but the Be Merry just fits so well with the layout and it's big enough to act as the title, so that's what I'm going to stick with. Like I said, this is off of their Christmas card, and I really like the fact that it's not a traditional Christmas photo, but it's a Christmas layout. So I'm pulling in that blue paper with the trees on it, the Christmas trees on it, to kind of be behind my photo, and that's just to kind of add a little bit of a Christmas element without being, too themey. So I was rotating the 12 by 12 paper here just to see which direction I wanted the planks or the planks to go. And I decided this way just because it'll bring your eye kind of from the upper corner down into the photo, and he's actually also looking that direction in the photo. So I'm playing around with the idea of adding a red mat on the back of the photo just to bring in another Christmas color, but again, not to be too glaringly Christmas, themey Christmas. I don't mind themey, but this photo is just not a themed Christmas photo, so I thought it was reasonable to not do too themey, though I definitely could have if I wanted to. So I didn't have any scraps that were big enough to mat this photo, because I believe it's a 5 by 7, I believe. So I just pulled out a piece of red cardstock from my stash. And it's a dark red, of course. And I'm doing a very small border. I don't even think it's quite 1/8 of an inch. It's probably just slightly smaller. But it's enough to break apart the pattern, the blue pattern paper and the photo, and then it also, again, like I said, adds another color into this layout. This layout is going to be pretty basic since there already was text in the photo, and it is such a large photo. I decided to go with minimal embellishment as well. And so I'm just using the tearing method to add some texture to this pattern paper that I'm going to put behind my photo, just to add a little bit of texture without having to add another layer. I really like this paper. On the back there is a green and star, I believe, green stars and diagonal stripes pattern, which also could be Christmas, but it's not. It could also be used for other things. I really like this pattern paper. When I first saw it, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I like the fact that there are kind of the woodsy themes and colors in this layout, because the picture of my nephew was taken outside. So it all kind of fits in together. I'm going to add a little bit of embossing to this. You won't see it on camera because I don't have my heat gun right here, but you will see me use a little bit of stamping here in a moment. This gold washi tape actually came in a Studio Calico kit a couple months ago. I was just trying to see if I could figure out a way to make that work. And since I'm not going to add an additional title, I am just going to go ahead and add the date with these letter stickers that came in the kit. So it's going to say December 2013, and I'm using the stamp set that came in the kit. There's a stamp that says December, and then there are the stamps 1 through or 0 through 9 as well. So I'm using those stamps to emboss the title. Sorry, the date, not the title. And I'm going to use this clear, sparkly embossing powder. But then, and you won't really see this on camera, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you, then I'm actually going to heat the clear embossing powder back after it had dried. I realized it just didn't show up well enough. So I heated it again, and you can see here I added Wow glitter on top of that, and it stuck to the layout because it already had that clear embossing powder melted. So the glitter kind of stuck into that clear embossing powder, so when it dried it was adhered to the paper. And that glitter was actually Wow glitter in copper. Copper was actually the color. And oh, I didn't mention it before, but the kit I am using with this is the Studio Calico December kit. It's the main scrapbook kit. I did not get any add-ons this month. Actually, I have yet to get an add-on in any of the months. I started in August of last year, and I do work a full-time job, and I do have an Etsy shop, and I do have a family, so I just unfortunately don't have the time to buy the kits and be able to use them. I mean, we are in mid-January and I am still working with the December kit, so, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just cannot commit myself to a whole nother, add-on, knowing I haven't even used the full month before. So I'm just working with the kits I do get, the main kits, and then I am adding my own things from my stash, and I still, of course, buy additional supplies as well. I'm using these puffy stickers from the kit to kind of frame the title, and I'll also put them on a couple other spots in the layout as well. These are some wood veneer kind of things that came in the kit. I'm just trying to see if they will work with this layout. This tag that's on here, this blue tag, is actually from, let's see, it's from the Crepe Paper Storyteller Cut Apart sheet. And these brads are from October Afternoon's Farm Girl Designer brads. And this brad, it's hard to tell in this photo, but it does have blue and red stripes on it. So it ties the light blue dots that I used around the title with the red border around the photo. I have this little box that I keep a lot of my cut-aparts or ephemera packs in, so that's what I'm actually going through here to see if there are any tags or anything that fit well with this layout, just to add a little bit more embellishment. I'm specifically looking for things with red elements in them, just to add a little bit more to the a little bit more red to the whole layout. It takes me a little bit to get a placement that I'm happy with. And I'm going to shorten these washi tapes so they don't stick out quite so far into the layout. And I'm actually going to take this cut apart, and this is from L Studio, the Sweet Life cutouts. I'm actually going to make an actual arrow on this. Alright, so that I'm happy with that, so I'm going to place it down. I'm just going to have part of this tag on here, and I'm going to overlap a couple of the other elements on top of it. And I'm going to put this brad right through the tag where the hole would have been, if it were a real tag, of course. It takes me a little while to figure out exactly what I wanted with this one. And it's kind of funny to me because this really wasn't even a complex layout, but it still took me quite a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And actually, I cut out that part, but the thing that took the longest to do was the embossing. I heated it a couple of times just to get enough of that gold to stick onto it. So you could actually see the numbers 2013. It's very shiny here in this camera, but in person it is sparkly, of course, but it's more of a muted, duller copper look. I wanted to add a little bit more embellishment on another part of the layout, and I wanted to use the same colors that I already had going on here. These stamps baffle me. I don't know exactly what to do with them, honestly. They came in the December kit, and I keep pulling them out and looking at them just to see if there's something that speaks to me, but so far there has been nothing that speaks to me. So I looked here, of course, just to see if something popped out, but it did not. I'm using a star, which is also from this puffy sticker sheet, and obviously I'm having some difficulty figuring out where to put it, and it will find its home here in just a moment. I find one of the easiest ways to make a layout come together is to use the same things in each embellishment. It makes it very cohesive looking. I'm just making a note here. This is Walter from December 2013, and that it was their Christmas card, just so I'll remember it in the future. So the tag has the light blue, and the letters in December have the light blue, and the circle puffy stickers up by Be Merry have the light blue, and the Brad has a light blue and red as well. So I'm adding gold, another piece of gold washi behind the photo, and then I do have well, it's copper, but it's basically a gold tone in the 2013 as well, down in the right corner. And then I have a little bit of red just about in the two different main sections. I don't have it down in the December 2013 section, but that's okay because it's not really an embellishment section. This is still kind of moving around a bit until I commit. It's going to move around slightly. Pulling out these Farm Girl brads one more time to see if I can find something else that will work up here by the photo. And I went ahead and added a little bit of adhesive to that so I can get that tacked down. And I am going to punch a hole. I do have a paper piercing tool from Stampin' Up, I believe, but it was just easier to use my craft knife here. So this brad has browns and blue in it, I believe. But again, I wanted to have another element that was already on the page to repeat to keep it a cohesive look. I have a very large open space here, but I'm okay with that. If I didn't have a title already on the photo, I may have added something there, but I feel like there's enough weight on the other side of the page that it's okay that this side of the layout is wide open. I'm okay with that. Not always okay with that, but today I was, so I'm going to pretty much leave it that way. I always like to cover the back of my, brads or staples with washi tape just so they don't, puncture another piece of paper. I've never actually had that happen, but I like to be safe rather than sorry, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I am going to put another piece of tape right here on the back of this other brad as well. One other thing that you never see, but I do put on the back of every layout, is I put the actual date the photo was taken. That way, just in case it didn't make it to the front of the layout, that I do have it in my scrapbook with the actual date. I just go back through my iPhoto and figure out what the actual date was before I put it in my pages in my album. Now we're coming to near the end of the layout, and you will see some still shots at the end. Please visit my blog at www.designbymelody.com for more details. I will have a month in review post with all the layouts I create in January with the additional supplies I used. Thanks for joining me. Bye.